All right, welcome back. This is John with Catfish Garage, and today I'm going to start sanding on the hood for the Mustang II. The top's pretty much finished. It's ready for the high build primer. The underside of it, though, is going to take a little more work. I ain't going to lie to you, I procrastinated on this one because it's sanding the underside of a hood or a trunk lid's a pain. But I had this thing blasted because it was in bad shape. And so anytime you have something blasted, you have to make sure you go back and sand the surface to get all the metal and the debris and everything off of it from the blasting. Because if you don't, it'll come right back through and come out through your paint and your primer. So, like I say, the hood was in bad shape when I got it. And you can feel, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can feel all the blasting media that got left over on it. And so I'm going to start sanding this and getting it prepped and ready to put some etching primer on. And then, I got to fill in underneath where this scoop was. Whoever cut the hole in the hood, I've repatched it and repaired it the best I can. This is not a concours show car. But I do have another hood that doesn't have a hole in it. It fits perfect. There's nothing wrong with it, but I kind of wanted to scoop, and I didn't want to cut the other hood up in case I just want to put it back. All right. Now we may hear the compressor come on. It's kind of loud. So I'm going to start with some 60 grit. So what I'm working on first, I used that body adhesive, epoxy, whatever, to glue the scoop to the hood, and it made a mess. And I'm just trying to get the biggest part of that because all the rest of this in here, I'm going to fill it in with a short strand fiberglass, and then once I get the high build primer on it, then I got to come back and finish the body work on it. But yep, all I'm doing right now is just starting to do some sanding. All right, I've done all about the DA sanding I can do. You can see the dark spots on the hood, and that's where the blasting media went in there. There's probably some small ripples in the hood. I dollied this hood and worked on it a lot. And you can see right here, these spots right here, it's an indentation from the underside. So now I didn't really see a whole lot from the upper side when I did it, but I really won't know till we start sanding. Have to start block sanding it a little bit. Now this car is not going to, like I said, it's not going to be something for a concours. My son says it's the 2-foot rule. All right. So now I'm going to try this and see if I can get around, some of these areas like this right here and everything. Let's see how that works. I had actually bought them for another project, which I've already finished. I just had some left over. It was actually when I did the bumper brackets for this thing. All right. Get some eyeballs on. works pretty good. Alright, I'll show you that. And I cut down on the hand sanding because I'm lazy. Yeah, that's working pretty good. I just have to come back and finish it up. We'll do some hand sanding on it. But I'm not too mad about that. And I got a bunch more in the box, so I can use as many as I need. Well, I got that much done. Now comes the hand sanding part. This part sucks, but I don't have quite as much since I used that flapper wheel around it. Yeah, it left some spots and stuff, but it's way better than it was. Now the one section I'm going to sand on, I couldn't really get anything in there. So I'm going to be getting my big old paw in there and see what I can. It just takes longer. So all right. So you kind of get the idea. Like I say, it's not perfect. You know, it's not like I'm machine sanding it. So. As I have found out when I did the other side, it was more or less just break the surface of it and get the dirt off of it. Because once I finish hand sanding, I'm going to come back with some Scotch-Brite and lacquer thinner, and then we'll do some wax and grease remover, and then get the etching primer on. So I'm not going to sit there and force you to listen to all that. All right, well, all the hand sanding is done. Now, granted, it's not, like I say, it's not going to be perfect. But the next step is going to be I'm going to use Scotch-Brite and lacquer thinner to go over it and get it ready to spray the etching primer on it. Because I'll do the Scotch-Brite and lacquer thinner, and then I'll come back and do wax and grease remover. And now the prep work's usually the hardest part. Spraying the paint ain't bad. It's fun. Anyway, so all I usually do is this right here. So You know, and then when you feel it, you still got crap on it. You're going to. But, you know. But this is primer. I'm going to get it as clean as I can. And then we'll start doing the rest of it so we can spray the etching primer on it. And I wiped it down. And so now I'm going to blow it off good. Get it ready for the wax and grease remover. It actually feels pretty good. I know these people out there that says you got to have a big fancy shop, paint booth. I don't. Now, if I was really doing something more professional, I never have, I'd get a tack rag to go over this thing as primer. I'm going to give that a minute to let the lacquer thinner finish drying off. And then we'll get the wax and grease remover. All right. I believe it's dry enough to use the wax and grease remover on it. Hopefully. No, I don't have no high dollar paper towels and crap like that. I'm just cutting up old clothes right now. Cause I'm cheap. Yeah, it is wax and grease. Yep. Kind of late now looking at it. All right. And one reason why I don't spend a whole lot of money on doing stuff like this anymore is I'm trying to retire. I honestly just don't want to spend all my money working on some old beater car. Well, I just don't have that kind of money. Mama Bear wants to go out and travel, and I don't have a problem with that. If I ever do get to the point where I can make a little extra money to do stuff like this full time, I'll be able to do a little more. But the thing is, I don't, you know, if you buy everything like a professional shop has, But you can. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, it makes your job, it makes what you're doing easier. But not everybody has that kind of money to do that with. And I'll be honest with you, I've built more than one old car and truck in this over here, in this little place, and they've all turned out pretty good. And we didn't have no fancy, tools and everything to do it with. Okay, I'm gonna get the gun ready. Even though I cleaned it last time, I always run a little lacquer through them. You just never know. One, it gives you a chance to check the spray pattern. And I know this is not a high dollar gun. I bought it off of Amazon just for doing primer, because I didn't want to mess up my really good set that I use for color. And I know I ain't painted nothing in a while, but all right, let's get this tip set back around. Oh yeah. Yep, pressure's right. Now the one thing I did like that they sent was this little filter, little water trap. Yeah, that's spraying pretty good. Now I'm going to spray this etching primer with a 1.4, I think. Yeah, it's 1.4. And what I'm doing is my spray pressure. When I pull the trigger, it'll read 40. Now, yes, it does read 80. I don't know if you can see it or not. But that's just line pressure. But my actual spray pressure will be 40. All right. I'm going to set it up on the gas tank so it'll fall off and hit the ground. Okay, well, I need to go get my primer and get it stirred up. I'm still waiting on the hood to finish drying out all the way. I just blowed it out again and ran some I guess wax and grease remover out from underneath the spot there on the hood. Well, I'm back finally. I forgot where I put the extra quart of etching primer. Now I'm gonna start stirring this up. Oh yeah, that looks great. That's my auto drain for the water on my air compressor. I know it's there, but every time it does that and I'm sitting here, it kind of, it's unexpected. It'll startle me a little bit. All right. So this stuff here doesn't really have much solids in it. So, you know, it does have some in it, but I'm not going to strain it. I'm just going to put it in the gun and spray it. And, if it dribbles, it runs. I don't care. Oh yeah, starting to come. Well, stirring stick's starting to come clean now. So now I won't be able to hold the camera and spray this at the same time. So I'll try to get it positioned to where, you know, you can kind of see what I'm doing. Main thing with painting is just take your time. Whether it be primer or color. Because color's not, well, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that it's not forgiving. But there's going to be, you know, you can't always fix your screw-ups. I'm going to blow it off one last time. Compressor noise just all part of it. All right. Before I put paint in the gun, I'm gonna go ahead and get my mask on, my little respirator. All right. I'm gonna pour a little bit in here and on my boot and on the ground. I'm gonna say about that much. Now, this gun is not the best in the world. It's already leaking. Imagine that. That's all right. This is primer. Now, if it was color, I'd be more worried about it. I'm not. Got my first one, yay! That was my fault. So we're gonna get, I'm gonna get the rest of the quart. And put it in the gun. Yay! Like I say, with this stuff here, I'm mainly just trying to seal the metal off. That's what the etching primer is for. The end of that. Alright, so now I'm gonna clean the gun. Alright, so that's gonna sit for a couple hours and it'll flash off pretty quick. Then I can store it in the garage. I think tomorrow start working on getting the little bit of body work got to be done on that scoop underneath. I'll get that done. And one thing about it, you know, you're going to get messy. You're going to get dirty. One reason why my Silverado is down at the road. Well, it's down at the driveway a little bit further than normal. All I'm doing is using some lacquer there. Now, if you let the gun set around, what I get for sitting on loose gravel. Now, if you let the gun set around, you might as well just throw it away. You can get them clean, but it's a pain. So, now. You don't see no primer coming out, so I'm gonna clean off the gun. Oh man, I made a mess. Like I say, this ain't a... It's really a good primer gun for what it is. Now, when I start spraying primer filler, high build primer on it with it, we'll see then just how good it really is. Because they don't usually last more than one time doing that. And just know this, that's one reason why I won't use this for color. It's because of the lid. You know, the cup on it for the paint, it's really a piece of crap. But, hey, it is what it is. For what I'm doing with it, it's fine. I just seen that in the bottom. Now, if this was my color gun, I would definitely take a lot more time. I would just assemble it all the way down. But, like I say, this one's just prime. Just know that if you decide to do your own, don't try to use your real good paint gun that you're going to put spray color and clear with. If you shoot clear, I mean, you can shoot enamel just as good. It's not as forgiving as base coat, clear coat. But, all right. All right. So now, this is, you know, now this etching primer is pretty forgiving because I did blob it. And I don't know how well you can see it, but it levels out really nice. And this is a big difference from what I had when I started. So I'm hoping tomorrow, good Lord willing, I'll get out here and get the rest of it done. Well, start working on the center part of it here, making it look a little better. I'm not expecting perfection. All right then, till tomorrow. Well, this is day 2. Day's gonna be a short day for doing anything. So what I'm gonna start off with is we're gonna fill in the areas where the scoop is. I guess I could have cut up something else or got some sheet metal, but for what it is, it's fine. So I'm gonna scuff it up a little bit. Technically, I don't think you have to do this to get the short strand fiberglass to fit, or I mean to actually stick to it. But don't hurt. The biggest reason why today's going to be a short day is I got some other stuff I need to do today. I'm hoping to get this video finished by the end of the week so I can post it next week. But if it don't happen, it don't happen. Because life happens. Well, alright, we're going to start mixing up some short strand fiberglass Evercoat. Now I'm really being fancy. I've never bought one of these. I've always used cardboard. So all right, oop. Wrong attachment there. All right, let's get some stuff out. Oh, yeah, I went and got the high build primer. Told them I just needed a quart of this stuff, and I admit, you know, it's been a while since I bought anything to do a car with, and $32 for a quart. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, you know, I could remember I could buy the whole gallon for $32. But anyway, it is what it is. Nothing's cheap anymore. I had planned on trying to use a little bit of that stuff called U-Paul. It's a different brand. But I can't get that here. Yeah, I mean, I can get it off of Amazon. But using what I could get my hands on right now. I don't think a lot of it's the problem with the stores anymore around here. I think what a lot of it is just people just can't afford to do this anymore, hardly. Because it takes money. And in today's economy, it's tough. And like I was saying in an earlier video, I'm looking to retire. But I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm still going to retire. But... All right. No, I don't know if there's any secret to spreading this stuff out or whatever. What I do with it, just make a mess with it and hope for the best. Probably have to do it again, which I expected that. Yep, stuff spreads just like I remember. Now, I've seen videos where, you know, a couple of them are using that newer stuff. But like I say, I can't get it here without ordering it off Amazon. Yeah, I think I'm hitting a little nib there or something, causing me to get a couple air bubbles in it. Like I say, this ain't structural, because when you raise the hood, that's the only time you're going to see it in. I think this stuff was a little old. Or my old bud ain't getting fast. I ain't working with it fast enough. Which I'm gonna say that's part of the problem. I didn't put an overabundance of hardener in it. Because I've had this stuff harden up on the cardboard or whatever I was using before. Especially if it's hot outside. Being super hot can cause your setup time to be a lot quicker. All right, well, that's about as good as I'm going to try to get it on this pass. I think that'll do. Now I just got to clean the board up. All right. Yeah, I guess I should have recorded this part also. I use lacquer thinner to clean the board. I used it to clean my spreader with. Like I say, I've never had one of these boards before. So, but I'm just using a little lacquer thinner on a rag before it hardens. I thought I'd do it this way. Figured it may work. How in the world did I get it on the bottom? I'll show some sort of mask on this side. Is this hot out? Well, thank you. Well, that made it easier to clean. That's just I think that's just protective till you use it. I'm not going to complain about it. All right, all we can do now is let this stuff dry. Then I'll try to sand it right quick and do another little bit of filling on it. Like I said, I'm not expecting this to become perfect. I still got to do a little filler on it. I ain't going to do much filler on it. Now, the other side's going to have some filler. Okay, we're back. I went to the garden and did some work while this thing was curing out. Probably waited just a little too long. Maters is more important. Okay, got some 60 grit on here. Alright, I like that. Alright, so I did it. You know, you're going to grind through some of your X and primer you put on there. So what I was trying to do was hold the sander flat on this side so that it would give me my flatness for this space here. Now this side here turned out really good. Yeah, I mean it's just roughed in right now, and that's fine. Oh yeah. Man, I like that. All right, I'll blow it off and then we get a little better look at it. But that's not too bad for roughing it in. All right. Like I say, that's pretty good for a rough one. And once again, that is just my opinion. Let me get the camera off here. So this side here was the worst one, but it did fill in pretty decent. And then this side. So, all right. I guess the next thing I need to do is mix up a little more tiger hair. Evercoat. It's an old habit from years ago when, many years ago, it was known as tiger hair. Now they still make tiger hair. So I seen it up there when I bought this stuff. Problem with that is that I couldn't afford it, and the Evercoat's fine. It all works. But I did see some people using that new stuff, the U-Pole or U-Paw, whatever it is. And I really think I want to try that. Won't be today. Like I said earlier, it's one of them things that we can't get locally. Oh God, that's what we got Amazon for. All right. Yeah, it's too bad. Little plastic board didn't have another one of them little covers on it. Wind's blowing. I don't care. Stir this up a little bit. I don't need a lot. Okay, this is John Loman again with Catfish Garage. It's been a few weeks. Well, actually not a few weeks. Actually, it's been it has been a couple weeks. Just had some other things going on, and I'm coming back to start back on this hood again. This is going to end up being a two-part video due to the fact of I've got some health issues and I got to go back to work, and so I'm not going to let it stop me. We're going to continue on with this. I'm like I say, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the sanding on the hood. This is the second fill for the fiberglass I put in it, fiberglass filler. Trying to get it done before it starts raining today. Okay, I mean, this is good enough. This old hood's kind of bad anyway, but I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I got it filled good enough, so I can just use the rest of it. It's going to be body filler. That's going to make a good level area there. Next thing I'm going to do is I got to figure out how to do the underside of this cow scoop. I've never done nothing like this one before. So, like I say, it was a cheap one. I bought it probably 10 years ago. It's been laying on the shelf. I'm going to lightly sand it and then see what we can do from it. Well, that kind of smoothed it up there a little bit. All right, sandpaper is expensive, so I'm going to Just fold this in and start working up in the backside corner, the back area of the corners and everything. Now on the next video, I do want to get this underside sprayed with a high fill primer and hopefully get it sprayed black. Because then the top of the hood is going to take a lot of work too. Well, not that much, but it's going to take some work. And I'm not looking for perfection. I've said that before. The only thing I'm after is what does it look like 2 foot away? Actually, it's starting to. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm not expecting perfection out of a cheap scoop. I'm not looking for it to be totally smooth. I'm just trying to get it prepped for the filler, high build filler. Get the excess off. If it wasn't going to rain today, I would go ahead and spray this with the filler, but my spray booth is my carport that I got. So I don't like spraying in the garage. I mean, I can, but there's too much other stuff in there. You have to spend a day covering everything up. And when you don't have to do stuff like that, that means that the person spreading the filler didn't really take their time. All right. All right. So basically, I'm making my own work. I jump every time that thing comes on. That's good enough now. Get the rest of this out. Ain't nobody gonna see this anyway. Right. You know, man, it's made and it's already getting 90 degrees out here this morning. But that's all right. Cold weather. All right, I'm gonna blow this out and see what it looks like. Dude, I'm getting old. That's what happens when you do actual physical labor for many years, especially if you work maintenance. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Right. Get my sandpaper back. I hope I can hang on to it. All right. Just got a little bit more cleanup in here to do. Actually, that fiberglass kind of smoothed off a little bit from no more than what I did with it. Oh yeah. And I'm not looking for it to be totally smooth. Trying to sand a blob out here I put in it. Because once again, I just didn't take the time to be careful and clean it up. Oh yeah, that's good. Like I say, I'm probably being a little too picky with it for what it's going to be. Okay. Missed it. Alright. Yeah, make sure I get the Bondo filler dust off my wife's GoPro. Well, that's what I'm going to do with this now. I got it roughed in, and like I say, a little bit of filler, regular filler will do that. Fill that in. And I won't be doing that till the next video, because I did have to go back to work. There were some things that happened with the early retirement thing, so. But it's fine. I mean, I'm healthy enough where I can. And so my early retirement date now gets to be end of July. Well, that's good. It's like a birthday present. Like I say, I'm not trying to make no show car here. I'm just trying to build something to go out and terrorize the road with. And like I say, this is part 1. Part 2 will be finishing up the back side of this and starting on the top of the hood. So I appreciate anybody that's watching. Like I say, don't leave your car sitting there if you can. And I understand times and money and life gets in the way. All right, y'all have a good until part 2.